Welcome to Connect the Dots, a podcast where we unlock the stories that connect each and every one of us. Hosted by me, Zach Day, in partnership with Kenect Nashville. How do you connect? How do you connect?
Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Welcome to Connect the Dots. My name is Zach Day, and what an honor to be here today. It's a beautiful Thursday, a little rainy, but the weather's getting nice. It's warm. It's just, I'm ready for summer. With me today, I have my friend and my third guest on the podcast, Kate Cameron. Hi, Kate.
Hey, thank you so much for having me today.
Well, thank you for being here. How are you this morning?
I'm so good, very busy, but glad you texted me several weeks ago. So we just put this on the calendar and I made time and we're here.
Yes, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come join me over here. I know you do stay pretty busy, huh?
Oh yeah, every day, every day.
So do you mind to talk a little bit about what you do over here at Kenect? What's your position? How did you get connected here?
So my current role is senior membership manager.
Okay.
Basically, I look over all the sales that go on in co-working. So whether that's a float flex membership or a dedicated desk or a private office, which we actually draw up leases for, I pretty much curate most of those and help out the leasing agents with their leads in co-working. And on top of that, I've also been curating all the events that happen at Kenect with a lot of help. Obviously, we have a lot of great vendors and musicians that help us out like you. But everything that's on the calendar, I pretty much put on the calendar and make sure everyone is on time and that the event goes pretty smooth. So
Yeah.
that's the
Oh
other
my
part of
gosh.
the job.
I mean, look, you do so much for this entire brand, really. I mean, and it's just amazing. They really do put you to work, but it's in a great way and it keeps you busy.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how you heard about Kenect, how you got here, like kind of what's your story, how you wound up in Nashville. You're not from here, right?
I'm from Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston.
Went to college in Boston and then moved here when I was 21, like right out after graduation. But jumping ahead a little bit to 2020, I actually live in Midtown. I live like right around the block from Kenect. So I walk to work pretty much every day, which is amazing. But I actually saw the construction happening and the lease up while Kenect was being built during COVID and the year prior to that, pretty much. And I was like, that looks like a really interesting building, like
What's going on over
social
there?
club, pool,
Yeah.
gym. Like I was more just curious about it,
Yeah.
but did not even think about applying for a job there. And then my prior job to that in 2019 was I managed Airbnbs. I was like an operations manager for 60 Airbnbs in town.
Whoa.
Yeah, which was crazy. That company actually kind of sold in December of 2019. So I was without a job for several months and then COVID hit.
Oh, yes, I remember very well.
Yeah. And then this is like a really long story, but long story short, my manager at that Airbnb job got a job at Kenect.
Wow.
And then she reached out to me saying like, hey, like I think you'd be a really great leasing agent or in the event coordinator position, like why don't you just apply? Like I've been working here for a few months and I think you'd be great at it. So that's how I became a leasing agent in 2020.
And you already had that experience with the Airbnbs kind of,
Yes.
right? Would you say that helped you like figure out
yes.
and kind of felt more comfortable here when you did that?
Oh, for sure. Like everything I do in the Kenect job is stemmed from what I've learned in the music industry or the Airbnb job. Like
Wow.
I function from both of those.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I'm good at the job I've done the past year is because you do a lot of live music, a lot of events, and then a lot of selling and sales and property management. Yeah. So anyways, I only did that leasing agent job for like maybe 6 months. And then I decided to leave. They were just in a really startup stage. And I don't think I was quite prepared for that. Like
Yeah.
I wanted something a little more my own and like a little bit more creative, a little bit more like sales savvy. So I actually got my real estate license after that.
Wow. Is that for like the state of Tennessee?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And I did that for 2 years with the team. And then I went solo for a while and did several deals, which was like really fun. I do love real estate and I still love real estate. I still have my
Wow.
license.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And then fast forward to last year, almost exactly a year ago, one of the concierge, his name was V. He's not here anymore, but at the time, he saw me at Red Door across the street, a very famous bar in Nashville.
Yes.
And he said, hey, this membership manager position is opening and like you would be perfect for it. Like, why don't you apply? Jumping ahead again, like I had an interview with Avi, who is one of the corporate folks at Kenect, and he not hired me on the spot. I had a couple interviews,
yeah.
but I felt like very confident about it.
And you had already been here before.
Exactly.
And, yeah.
I knew most of the staff already.
Right.
And then I was here as a manager. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. So like, who would have thought that like you starting out at the Airbnb and now your career besides music is just like sales and like I don't know anything about that stuff. You know what I mean?
It takes a minute to learn. It's definitely like I'm not a natural salesperson. I definitely like learned it over time and then kind of use like that swagger of the music industry to like connect with people.
And that networking and kind of thing like that. Yeah. So when you went to school for music, right?
Yes. I went to Berklee College of Music in Boston, graduated, did the songwriting program and voice there. And while I was in college, like my whole world was pop and country music. Like I gigged out sometimes 4 times a week at the bars and at hotels, just any gig I could get, I was doing it. I actually worked with both country radio stations in Boston doing pre-parties for like Fenway Park and TD Garden concerts. So I like not opened for these acts, but did the pre-party for like Eric Church, Zach Brown Band and Aldine. And I would like play these 2-hour sets right before the show started. So it was just crazy. And I did that for 2-3 years.
Wow.
Pretty much before I was even 21.
Just you and your guitar?
Yeah. And sometimes I'd bring like a duo, or every once in a while like a band would have me just like be an additional stage singer. But other than that, I was pretty much solo most of the time. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. And then so after college you moved to Nashville, and were you just like, that's where I need to be to do the type of music that I want to do? Like, why did you choose Nashville instead of maybe like LA or New York or somewhere like that?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to come to Nashville since I was about 16 probably, and that was when I first heard about the music industry here. I actually tried to go to Belmont. I applied. I got deferred essentially to Belmont, where they wanted me to retake my SAT.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't have the best grades, but then the same week I got like a partial scholarship to Berklee. So my mom was like, well, I guess you're going to Berklee.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. Like
Definitely.
Nashville can wait. I ended up here anyways. So it's cool that I got 4 years in Boston, because I feel like you can't replicate going to college in like a really cool city like that.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy I got those years in Boston.
And Berklee has a great music program, obviously, and there's like a lot of really cool musical artists that come out of there for sure. I mean, like half the time I talk to someone, they're either a Belmont student or a Berklee student at some point in their lives.
Yeah, and it's super diverse. It's like the most international school in the country.
That's wild.
Like I was the minority there for sure.
Yeah. So when you were doing, you said you were doing like pop music at Berklee, right?
Yep.
How would you describe your style now and your genre, maybe?
I tell people I do like a pop country R&B, sort of like a female Sam Hunt or like Mitchell Tenpenny, if you know like the Nashville artists, like those artists that kind of like range from that soul vibe, but then they turn it into like a modern pop country song.
Yes.
So I really just love like Motown and R&B, but mixing that with like the Nashville sound.
Nice. That's so cool. Do you have like some of your inspirations from childhood? Like who do you look up to for maybe like who did you draw inspiration from?
Well, when I was like really little, my dad was in a blues band. So I would be like 3 years old. My mom and my family would like go watch my dad play at the bar and like play blues music. So I think like that was a big installation of just like the common like 1-4-5 progression. I feel like I still revert to that now.
For sure.
So I got to see a little bit of that. And then when I was like 12, I picked up guitar and started writing songs. And I was really into like, you know, like Avril Lavigne, Michelle Branch at the time. Like those were the girls.
Yes, those were the girls. I know, same.
And then when I got a little older, I got more into like male artists like John Mayer, Dave Matthews.
Oh, yeah.
And then when I was in college, I was all about country music. So like, I know that's kind of a hybrid of a lot of different genres, but I feel like when you hear my voice, it all makes sense.
It really does. Yeah. I mean, I've seen you, we kind of go way back low key, me and you, because when you were first over here at Kenect, I was as well.
Yes.
So like I moved in here, and then it was like they were still, I think there was like not even hardly anyone over here yet, because when I first moved into Kenect, they were still doing construction.
Right.
And they had me over at the hotel for the first couple of weeks.
Oh, I remember all the move-ins from the hotel. Yeah.
Yes, so we were both there during that time. But I've had the pleasure of getting to see you play a few times around here.
Yeah.
And I love your sound. I love your voice. I love your songs, especially. I think that you're a great songwriter. So if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about maybe your songwriting process, and how you can kind of like, because you work really hard and you're working full time here at Kenect. I mean, same, you know what I mean? And so like there has to be some sort of balance between like your work and trying to do your music. So if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about what you go through when you're writing a song.
Yeah, I'm just like a practice person. Like I feel like everything I do is muscle memory for the most part. And that's just from, you know, like singing from when you're a little kid and then you just get a little bit better and a little bit better. Same with songwriting. Like I feel like the songs I wrote in high school and college, like I can still see that thread of what I do now, but now I try to take it to the next level of like, okay, well, what's a better word in the dictionary that we could use instead of like love or cool, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm just a little bit more like English savvy about the way I write now, and I really try to make cool metaphors.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, I still love a cool, catchy pop song.
Yeah.
And then I love playing like acoustic guitar, so meshing those together. I do like co-writing. I'm one to more write by myself, or at least start a song by myself and bring it into a co-write.
Same.
I kind of get nervous in co-writes, and I know that's not Nashville, though. And I think that's why I've struggled in the Nashville music industry, is just because I like take a minute to warm up to people. Like you and I have already hung out 10 times. So it's like it's easy to talk to you, and you're music guy anyways. But I feel like in Nashville, like you just get set up on all these rights with like strangers, and then I gotta perform, you know?
And you're expected to just bare your soul to someone that you've never even met before.
So I've been set up on like, you know, a round of 5 rights with, you know, 20 different people at points. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to come up with like 5 killer ideas. I'm going to kill it.
Yeah.
But then it's like at the same time, like being that perfectionist, and like the nerves get to you. And then sometimes it's just nerve wracking.
Oh, I know.
Because I want to do a good job.
Yeah, of course. And you want to impress people, and you want to like prove to yourself and to everyone else that you belong here and stuff like that. Like, I totally understand that. Like, it freaks me out to do a co-write too.
Yeah.
But like, that's the thing too, is like, it's kind of hard to like, do you find yourself ever overwhelmed because like you work all day and then you're expected to go home and write music? And it's like, I just want to like, for me, I'm like, I just want to relax. Like, but
for sure. And like what keeps me going, I guess, is like playing shows.
Yeah.
Because that I can hype myself up for and kind of like do that muscle memory thing, and you do that so well too.
Thank you.
And then that gets my brain moving to like, oh, this would be a cool song to play at a show, and that's kind of where I stem.
That's a good way to think about it. Is like, how can I play this to an audience? But you know what? I will tell you, because I lived in LA for a little while too, and like one thing about being here in Nashville that I have like really taken from just being here is that, you know, we can go out on stage or go anywhere. We have our guitars. We can go on stage. We can sing like however many hours of our own music that you want us to do, because we have trained ourselves to do that. But there's a lot of people that can't do that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Years.
It takes years.
I mean, I've been doing this since I was 8 years old, really, like taking singing lessons essentially. So I'm 30.
Yeah.
So that's over 2 decades of practice.
Right.
You know?
And performing and just trying to feel comfortable in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
And just being able to play your guitar and write or play the songs that you've written.
Yeah.
It's more rare than you think.
Yeah.
So do you record music at home? Do you record demos, or like, do you have a little studio set up? Like, what's your vibe there?
I just learned that like back in my college days. We took those like music tech classes, and I kind of like picked up the basics. So I still use GarageBand because like would rather just like sing into a great mic and let the acoustics kind of carry themselves, and then I'll put like a little backbeat behind it. So I would consider myself like a clean demo girl.
Same.
So I'll kind of like take that, maybe show it to a producer and let them take it to the next level.
Right. Polish this, please.
Exactly. Yeah. But I'm by no means like an engineer by no means. Yeah. I do like the basics and let my voice kind of carry the session.
Same.
But I'll let the producers and the engineer like do what they do best and give their input for sure.
Yeah, same. I mean, like, I don't feel comfortable sitting down and like trying to produce a song out. I'm just like, look, I'll write it on my guitar and then I'll record it the most basic version you can get.
Right.
Sometimes I will do the same thing, like throw a little something in there, but I get a little bit uncomfortable when I do that because I'm like, well, now what am I supposed to do? But it is fun sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be a little stressful.
For sure. Yeah. It's just like carving out the time.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, so like some people may or may not know that I was doing, I think most musicians have probably done like a TV show, like one of the singing shows.
Yeah.
Had you ever done any auditions for shows like that?
I've auditioned for all of them.
Yeah, of course.
I've
Same.
only been flown to LA one time, and it was not for what you think. It was a brand new show. This was 2021, and I was out in LA for like 10 days, and it was a show called it wasn't The Masked Singer, but it was like a playoff of that, and we were avatars.
Is it like use your voice or something? Or can I guess?
It wasn't the guessing.
Oh,
I've
not
auditioned
that.
for that too. My gosh, I cannot remember the name of it, but it was basically like they created this avatar for you.
Like a
Weird.
AI kind of thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and they like the judges was like the guy from the Black Eyed Peas. I forget his name. will.i.am, and Alanis Morissette.
Ooh.
And I think Nick Lachey was the third judge.
Nick Lachey?
Yeah, so I'm sure you can find out what the name, like this is how like back of my brain it is. I can't remember the name of the show.
Right.
But essentially I would just like I only had like 2 or 3 sessions the whole like 10 days I was there. And then we had an audition behind a curtain and we sang for like a panel of people at Fox.
That is so weird.
And then, so I was behind a curtain, and then after I sang, I walked around the curtain and like
They could see.
talked for a minute. And that was it was really fast. Like, yeah. And they gave me like a Casey Musgraves song, which like, I love her. She's amazing. But like, we just have very different voices.
Yeah.
So me singing Rainbow was like, I had to really figure that one out because she has such like a cool, steady voice. And my voice is more like punchy. So I was oh gosh, how do I like do the song justice?
And do it in your way,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. So
did
that
you
was,
play
like,
guitar too?
No, nobody did. It was just like
Did they have a live band?
a little piano player.
Oh.
But they wanted me to sign a contract and I wouldn't do it. So I think that's why I didn't get on the show.
That is so. Is the show even on anymore?
I don't know if they had a second season. Yeah, it was 2021, so on Fox.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is so interesting.
But I've auditioned for all the other ones. The Voice, I've had like multiple phone calls, like video calls for Idol, Got Talent, like all.
Same.
Yeah, pretty much all of them. But like my dream actually is like host an HGTV show about Nashville and like, you know, incorporate the music industry somehow. Like I think I could do like a celebrity Nashville, like IOU type of show or something like that, or like Nashville hotspots. But like it would like mesh my worlds of like Nashville entertainment industry and property management and real estate. Yeah,
I love that.
I think that's like the coolest idea for a show. Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Maybe you should start like a TikTok and try to just go ahead and start doing it, and then like
idea.
and kind of like getting that foot in the door kind of thing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I mean, I was just telling one of my friends the other day. He was like, I really want to. He writes poetry, and he was like, I want to figure out a way to like do this and like maybe write a book. And I was like, you have to just start a TikTok. Like I know it's annoying, but you gotta
I need help. That's the
I
problem.
know. Same. Trust me. Social media, I mean, has been a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Yeah.
It's definitely been a blessing for me, but like trying to do music and be an artist, but also have to be on the internet is just like I hate it.
I think I'm just like 5 years too old where I like didn't quite grow up with it.
Okay.
And I had like, 5 years of gigging on stage before Instagram and really TikTok even became a thing.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
by the time it came around, I didn't know how to function with like the iPhone without a crowd. Like I was really struggling with that.
Yeah.
Third dimension.
I mean, yeah, same. And like, it's just funny because when I did The Voice, like there's, when I was on the show, TikTok wasn't even a thing yet.
Yeah,
It was like by the time I got home from filming, TikTok started popping off. And now I see everyone doing The Voice and they're able to promote themselves, talk about their music, start going viral. I'm like, I didn't even have that option when I was like having my moment on TV or whatever.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But now, if we could do it again, like that would be a little bit different. But it's but yeah, the only reason I ask is just because I remember when I was like a little kid, like my dream was to always like move to somewhere like Nashville, maybe like do a show like that. Would you like tell other aspiring artists what kind of advice would you give maybe an aspiring artist that is like, okay, you might be able to do The Voice or the American Idol or move to Nashville? Like for me, I'm like, I think you should tread lightly with that kind of stuff, but that's just me.
It's a lot of contracts involved with that, and like you don't want to get caught in something that you don't know what you're signing before you even start, like before you even so anyways, I'm sure it's a lot looser now than
I
it
think
was
so.
even 4 or 5 years ago. I'm sure it's a lot easier now, but
I think so.
but I think the key to Nashville is like, one, it's all about the community. connecting with people. Like, you got to do that. Like, there aren't that many introverts that make it, other than like Stapleton probably. But other than that, like, there has to be like at least one thing about you that like no one else really has. Like, and it can be anything. Like, it can be like your cool personality, or like you have a cool look, or like your cool voice, or amazing songs. Like, it doesn't really matter what that cool thing is, but like, you got to have just like one little thing that separates you from 10,000 people.
I agree. And that's something I've learned a lot too about being in Nashville. Well, one thing about me is I am kind of an introvert, so I have trouble with that because I'm like, I just can't get out.
Yeah.
I can't.
I feel like we're very similar. Like, we have like high highs and then like low lows, and we're just like, we'll perform and we'll be on when we need to be on. But like, if it's a Thursday, 8:00, like, I'm chilling. Yeah.
Same. Well, that's like, I mean, that's my whole MO. It's like, I'm just trying to be as cozy and comfortable as possible because I think that you can have it all. I think that you can be living your dream and also just like enjoy being alive.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Because part of my joy is just like bundling up with a book or like whatever. And like, but I stress myself out with the social media, with the networking. I'm like, I should be out here. I should go to Red Door and like meet people or like whatever. And I'm like, but I just don't. I don't even really like drink or anything like that. I just like, I don't know. So I find it difficult to do like a work-life balance sometimes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So for me, I work all day. And like I said earlier, I work all day and then I just want to like relax. Yeah. But then I have to like kind of force myself to write a song or make a TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any challenges when it comes to your music career that you're willing to share? Like maybe something that has like made you feel like, why am I doing this or whatever?
So, I mean, I would say like the ghosting is real.
Yes.
Like, and it's not personal. Like, I'm not even saying I've never lost touch with people, and it's not even personal. It's just like, there's so many people to network with in town. And you'll like write with people and make cool music with people. And like, you could be hanging out with these people for like a couple of years. And then all of a sudden it's just like, oh man, like we really are on different planets now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of tough for me anyways. Like, I kind of struggle with just like reaching out to people. But yeah, that's definitely tough. Cause like I've had some close calls with like publishing deals and that kind of thing, and you think you're kind of close, and then you're like, oh, maybe I wasn't as close as I thought. Yeah. And you don't really get a straight answer. And you're never gonna get that straight answer of like why. And it's, again, like sometimes they don't even know why. It's just like not the right time or not the right person or song for the moment. And that's tough because like, you know, like I said, being like a little tiny perfectionist in my own way, like I will show up to every session early, sing my butt off, like write as great of a song as I can that day, and sometimes it's still not right, you know, and that is tough, knowing that you hit all the boxes and it's still not what they're looking for.
And then it's like, you got a gig that night too.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to go play 4 hours at 12:30 Club later for tourists, you know? Like,
so have you played on Broadway before?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. See, I don't think I've ever played down there.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of full bands. I do a lot of like duos and trios.
That's cool.
Kind of like a stripped down set. Just cause it's tough for me to like play guitar with a band, cause I have to like mesh with the bass player. So if there's a bass player, it's like a little tough for me because I'm like faking it half the time with the guitar, like like the same 1-4-5. Yeah. But I play a lot of duos, which is cool because then like you could just play with one or two other people and just kind of play back and forth. And I played
split
like
that time.
Yeah,
too.
I played almost every stage at least once. But I really got my little rounds on Demumbrian, I would say. Like, I've played those bars so many times. Like,
me too. I think, and down, I don't know. Any of the writers' rounds in Nashville, I've probably played them all.
Yeah,
you know,
at some point. Yeah, and it's tough because, like, writers' rounds are tough, too, because you don't really get a chance to get into your groove.
Yeah, you get like 3 songs and you're taking turns, but it's a huge part of Nashville culture.
It really is. It's like the bread and butter of Nashville, I think, is those writers' rounds. So.
Yes, I know, same. Oh, if you guys can hear the drilling, what is it, drilling or jackhammering? But we said this last time, but Kenect is expanding, so they're working. It's all good. This is all
it's good thing.
Good things are happening.
We're getting restaurants.
Do you have any memorable moments from your live performances, or have you had a tour experience or anything like that?
Yeah. So I went to music school, as I said earlier, and they do a really big graduation concert. Like, every year there's like a few.
I bet that's amazing for
Yeah.
real. Like,
Oh my gosh. And like so many honorary doctorates that come. Like I know my year there wasn't anyone super famous, but like the year before me, they've had like members of Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith. And
Wow.
I think John Mayer was one year and like Justin Timberlake was one year. Anyway, so my year, there's a few different people. One of them was Julio Iglesias, which is Enrique's father. But the other one was Doug Morris, who at the time was the CEO of Sony Music.
wow.
He's also been the CEO of Universal.
So he's busy.
Yeah, he's like definitely retired now. He was like close to retirement when he was an honorary doctorate. But I got to honor him because he was one of the executives that pulled Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac to make her solo record.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of cool. So
Very cool.
I got to sing Stop Dragging My Heart Around with like in an 8,000 seat arena with a full band, full lights, full everything.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and it was just like, that was really cool because I'm like, wow, I've always wanted to sing in an arena and like, you never actually think you're going to get to.
Yeah.
And then
I mean,
was
it's a
like,
dream.
yeah, and that was
yeah.
like a 4-year process to like sing on that stage. Like,
Oh, yeah.
and but that was just really, really cool. And like, what's crazy is I sang for the CEO of Sony when I was 21 and never told anyone in Nashville until like a year ago.
Wow.
I
You're
forgot.
just like, oh, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, because I just thought that was college.
Right.
And then when I go to Nashville, that'll be Nashville. But it never occurred to me that I should write letters and be like, hey,
I've already sang
look what I just did.
Yeah.
My mind was not even there. I was like, I'm going to get in rooms and write songs. Like, was not even thinking of who I just sang for. Didn't even slip my mind until like 2 years ago. And I was like, oh, yeah, I did do that. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I'm having like publishing meetings at Sony, like forgetting that I've already.
You're like, oh, yeah, I've actually performed for the president before. Wow, that's
It's crazy.
interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have any upcoming releases or have you been releasing music? What's your plan kind of for the year?
I don't have any like singles in the pipeline. I'm getting there on like what my next game plan is. I released like 4 or 5 singles in the past couple years. But that's definitely like my next thing now that I have Kenect under control a little bit.
Yes.
Like I've been here a year almost now, so I feel like I have the ability to add another thing onto my plate,
Right,
lack
right.
of a better term.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been like really busy at Kenect for a year, so that's kind of put a halt to like writing and recording. But doesn't mean we can't get back into it. I just
For
like
sure.
I had to take a little pause to like get really good at this job, I guess.
No, I totally understand. I mean, like that's part of it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially like when you are trying to have like a healthy balance
Mm-hmm.
between like having to make money and also having to do music because that's the reason you live and breathe. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And like
yes.
right now, I have to keep a healthy balance between all of that, but
Good.
it's not easy, but
Yeah.
but it's important too. You know what I mean? So I totally understand, and it's not cheap to make music and
No,
produce
that's the
it.
other thing. Yeah, like waiting for that tax return to like. No,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
I know
kidding.
exactly. Well, speaking of Kenect too, like they've also been having you kind of go to. There's an newer building in Phoenix that
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
opened up recently, and me and you both have had the opportunity to go there. And I actually got this hoodie when I was at
Oh,
Kenect
cool.
Phoenix,
Yeah.
and it's so cute. They have a lot of like local artists right around there. But I mean, that's probably adding a little bit of work to your daily life too.
Yeah, I'm flying out there like once a month, just to kind of curate the co-working space there and get more sales. Basically, filling up the offices there, kind of duplicating what I've done in Nashville as far as like the co-working goes, and just trying to figure out how the demographics just a little different in Phoenix and navigating
It
that
is,
and
yeah.
getting people in for tours and all that stuff. So it's definitely a learning curve because I feel like Nashville naturally is such a networking city
Yeah.
that it's a lot easier to just like reach out to people and follow up with people, where Phoenix is a little bit more like subdued.
Yeah.
So like they're not as used to like the crazy back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nashville is definitely more like hustle and bustle.
yeah.
Phoenix is kind of chill.
Very relaxed,
But
yeah.
I mean, they have the Waymos there, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to do that?
I called one day, but they don't go to the airport.
Oh.
Yeah, so I tried, but I didn't go. Yeah, next time I go somewhere that's not the airport, I'll call one.
Yes.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Waymo is like this self-driving car, and it's like they only have it in Phoenix and I think San Francisco right now. So
Okay.
it's so weird, but I'm I mean, it was cool. A very cool experience.
Yeah, they're cool to just watch on the road. Like, it's crazy.
It's weird. People are like craning their necks trying to see like what's going on.
Yeah.
There's like a carless or a driverless car just like passing me.
I know.
But it's funny. So, okay. I really need to get like a little theme song for Cozy Corner. I'm like, Cozy Corner or something like that. I'm going to try to do something like that. We're at Cozy Corner now. This is just like part of the podcast where I just like to kind of like talk about something that maybe I did in the past week to relax and try to find some inner peace, whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
I like to like light a candle. Last week, I think I was like talking about different candles that I had lit around the house to make me feel comfortable, because scent can just like what's the word I'm trying to say? Like transform or just like take you somewhere is what I'm meaning. Yeah. And just takes me back to like a specific memory or something like that. Yeah. But I always insert like a little picture right here of like what I'm talking about. So this past week I wanted to tell everyone about the book that I read. Hold on, it's called Good Night Beautiful by Amy Malloy. Wow. I'm on Book Talk, by the way.
That's amazing. I love that.
I'm on Book Talk, where it's like I just like see a lot of people talking about books that they've read, but that's been my inner peace. Yeah. So for those of you who are interested in a fun thriller, check out this book, Good Night Beautiful. It's very fun. I read it in one day. I like to come down here to the co-working space and just like read and just like get cozy and drink a little hot chocolate. Yeah. And that's been what I've been doing to find my peace. So what would you say that you do to like meditate, or what's your like go-to relaxation method?
I'm really into the sauna.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have a sauna membership around the corner at Hotworks.
Hotworks.
Yeah.
Okay, I've heard of this.
And then I also have a sauna blanket in my living room that I like keep stashed away in the ottoman.
It's like a heated blanket?
Yeah, but like makes you sweat. It goes to like 170 degrees. Oh. So if you're in there longer than like 15 minutes, like you're sweating. Yeah. But it's like you feel so relaxed after, and like best night's sleep ever.
Wow.
I also my parents like are from Massachusetts, but they go to Florida for the winter, and I really like just like hanging out at the beach in Florida with like the locals. Like it's just
that sounds nice.
Everyone down there is just like way less stressed.
I agree. Yeah. Okay, cool. I love that. Well, I think that's going to about do it for us today.
Cool.
Thank you so much for doing this. If you want to, please share with the listeners your socials, where we can find you, and your music and anything else that you want to promote.
Of course. Well, you can find my music mostly on Instagram, Kate Cameron Music. You can find me on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, all the things. But you can also check out Kenect at Kenect Nashville and Kenect Phoenix, and come in for a tour for co-working, and I will tour you personally. So.
Okay. You heard it here first, folks. If you guys hit us up, Kate's going to give you a tour.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, thank you so much, Kate. And from everyone here at Kenect Nashville, my name is Zach Day. You can find me at Zach everywhere online. Thank you, and we'll see you next time on Connect the Dots.
Woo!